New Boruto chapter came out, and let me just get right into this video. So they had the new cover page, whatever you want to call it, and it's whatever. It's not that good. I don't like the way he draws. So I've mentioned his drawing of anatomy before, and since I was talking about one of the Shinju, the tailed beast, I confused people. But no, he does this with everybody. Look at how short his legs are in comparison to his torso. It feels like his torso's long sometimes, or it's just all off, bro. I don't like the way he draws people. But anyway, I took this screenshot of Boruto because it was kind of funny. He looks like a kid. He looks like he's playing dress up as Sasuke. Like, I can't even take this panel serious. But enough making fun of his art. Let me get right into this video real quick, okay? So, it starts off with Boruto speaking to Kawaki in a flashback, and they're talking about their plan to go confront Jura. And again, like every other chapter, a lot of stuff doesn't make sense. The why and the reason, the cause and effect, it doesn't make sense. So Boruto says that it's not possible to take down Jura, and that the most realistic way is for all of them to flee together using the flying Rajin, okay? And I don't like how, I mentioned this in the other video, but the stipulations and the rules around Boruto's flying Rajin and his teleporting, it's gonna just change conveniently, and it's gonna feel like it doesn't make sense if you really think about it, because in the beginning he was able to teleport out of a different dimension where the Ten Tails is being stored. Okay, remember this, like he teleported when the Shinju first appeared, and he teleported back home and got out of there when they were trapping him in rocks and they tried to kill him. They were all trying to kill him except for Jura. And then he was still able to teleport. But you telling me now, if it's a 1v1 or a 2v1, he can't teleport at any time? He has to actually try to sense and find and lock onto it, more like an instant transmission sort of thing. This is how they're making it now. It's not as quick. And yeah, before he has to search for the item. But we've seen him time and time again in a battle do it back to back. And like I said earlier, he teleported to a different dimension, different plane, as far as we know, right? Different planet, damn near, okay? So, they say it's impossible to fight him together. But as we see here, we go to see Kawaki holding his own against Jura. He's actually able to physically clash with him and hold him back on par, even sometimes making Jura himself reel back, okay? So Kawaki's able to clash with every attack that he's doing, as far as I'm concerned. And he does this thing where, he imbues his chakra rod, or his, whatever you want to call it. It's a black rod. It's kind of the opposite. He imbues it with chakra and makes Jura explode, right? So this damage actually takes an effect on his body. Like, the whole chunk of his body is missing where he stabbed him at. He repeatedly starts to do it back to back, and he's blown up his torso. And then why, I don't understand, and I never liked how in the middle of the fights, the way it's choreographed and just the things they have them do, why does he go to knock him away after this? If you have your enemy in front of you, pretty much down and out, why would you go to knock him away when you could finish the battle here? Like, if Boruto wasn't dealing with the karma like they have him dealing with, right? So that's the only part that would make sense as to why they can't team up, is because Boruto is over here fighting for his life, trying to deal with the karma. But outside of that, like, Kawaki doesn't even seem like he needs karma to deal with Juro. Like, why would he approach him right now with his karma off if that wasn't the case? You know what I'm saying? So, and I think he only turned it on. I mean, for what reason did he turn it on? If he can turn the karma on and deal with Jura almost on par, seemingly, I'm sure Jura has more power hidden, but maybe he doesn't because he fights so lazily and chilling. Like, he takes this full power blast right here, okay? Now, remember, the first one made his midsection disappear. And right here, the wound seems smaller for some reason. That's just the inconsistency in Ikemoto's art, where wounds will disappear and they'll look different in different panels and all that sort of shit. And if you pay attention to that sort of stuff, it's really annoying when it happens, because he has not healed himself at this point. He's been just laying there, recovering from the aftermath, and he started reading the book. Oh yeah, by the way, let me mention this, right? He asked him this question about love. He said, I guess it's this thing called love. He came to the conclusion as to why Himawari and Inogen and everybody got stronger. Himawari got stronger. Okay, and he equated Himawari getting stronger to the fact that they're both Uzamakis, and there was some similarity there. And then he also said it's not unlike how Inogen got stronger. He says, I think it's the thing called love. He said, I'd love to hear about the love that you have, Kawaki. Like, Kawaki doesn't want to talk about it. But isn't his theory technically wrong to some point if he's linking Kawaki's getting stronger to Himawari's getting stronger and the fact that they're both like Uzumaki? You know what I mean? Like Kawaki's not really Uzumaki. He's only perceived as one because of the omnipotent. Okay, he doesn't really know that Amado worked on Kawaki. He probably doesn't even know Kawaki's not human. But how does he know about Kawaki? He knows Kawaki's name instantly. He knows all these other things innately and instinctively. But how come he doesn't know other things? It doesn't make sense. So, yeah, I don't understand how this blast doesn't destroy him. And you can argue because, well, he just made the trees appear. But, like, bro, we see him sitting down. There are no trees. He's laying down here. There are no trees before Kawaki goes to blast him. Okay, so it just doesn't make sense that during this big explosion, he's able to just magically and instantly just get away conveniently, so we can avoid another confrontation from happening. And what does he do? He heals up. He continues to speak and talk about things that don't really matter. Okay, and he's talking about, and I didn't like this, right? The way he deduced that Naruto was still alive makes no sense. Quite literally, it makes no sense. Like, how do you come to this conclusion? Because Kawaki has come to protect Boruto, and you just instantly thinking, oh, I thought you only like to protect Naruto. That means Naruto must be alive. That makes no sense. So he comes to protect Boruto, who he doesn't know is the Uzumaki, apparently, because I'm pretty sure he's been calling Boruto Otsutsuki Boruto, now that I think of it, right? And this is solidifying it, the fact that he called Kawaki Uzumaki Kawaki. So if his like that, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for him to come to the conclusion that Naruto's alive. And he says, oh, now your reaction has made me notice it for sure. What reaction? Kawaki's just staring at him, bro. It doesn't make any sense. Like, I guess right here he's talking about when he started like scowling a little bit, got a little angry. But for him to even start coming to this like conclusion, I think it doesn't make sense. Like, they just wanted him to mention he knows Naruto's alive. Like, for what reason? I don't know what they're trying to set up with that. He's gonna try to figure out where he's keeping Naruto, or now Kawaki's gonna be one of his targets now too, right? He has a reason to pursue Kawaki, and this irritated me because it's like, okay, he said sorry about the wait, we're good now. I have a lock on the signal. So they made it. I guess they're trying to make it for like two reasons as to why Boruto couldn't teleport out of there freely, and one of them is because of the stipulation as to where, if he's fighting an opponent that's strong enough, then he won't be able to focus. And that can just be used so loosely. Any opponent could be strong enough. They can make any situation intense enough just whenever they feel like it, so he doesn't teleport. I mean, I feel like it's a bullshit and unbelievable reason to make him not teleport. It has to be a better stipulation than that. Like Goku, he has to put his hand on his forehead, and we already know he has to search and lock on. Even if he gets way better at searching and locking on to things, he still has to put his hand up to there. They could just write an enemy, like make it so he never has the time to put his hand up there, and that could be realistic. He's in the middle of a fight. He has to use both of his hands to fight. Like, they're martial artists, so it would make sense. This can vary a lot more. It can be more general. Like, how come? And again, I'm gonna use the first situation. How come Boruto in the first chapter or two, he can teleport away from a dimension while he's getting attacked by 4 Shinju trying to kill him? But then, oh yeah, they just had Jura mention that, oh, we don't really care about trying to kill you, Boruto. Even though they were trying to kill him, like, he'd speak for himself. He was the one that wasn't trying to kill him. The other ones were trying to kill him. They swung him and all that. So, like, he says, oh, our curiosity overrides our instinct for hunger or whatever. So that's why you made it out alive. It's bullshit. He's still dealing with like 5 of them, and apparently his instinct for being hungry and all that shit is still not that strong. Like he just let them go. He let them go. Like if he's so strong, why would he not stop them? It doesn't make any sense. Okay, so I didn't like this. And he's just sitting here on his throne of thorns. Okay, it's ridiculous. So this is a small mention right here. Let me mention the fact that I know people thought it was weird that he threw up a middle finger. And just so you know, if you people probably only watch the anime, and there's no flack in that. I'm not judging you for that, but you wouldn't know that this is not a strange thing to the Naruto world. A middle finger has popped up in Naruto multiple times before, or like a couple of times. Like, the Nine-Tails Fox did a middle finger before, so this is not something completely new. Okay, it's not special. It's not. I mean, it's not that special. It's not that new. They're not just doing it because it's like the new gen thing or something like that. No, I've seen some people kind of say that. So Konohamaru obviously is always getting disrespected. He got disrespected again in this chapter just for no reason. I don't know why. They just like bullying the dude. But now Boruto and Kawaki teleport back to the rest of the crew, and they mention how they're gonna head straight to Konoha because now the whole crew is with them. So Boruto can teleport like 50 people. He could teleport like 7 people and then a couple of items and objects and shit, all that shit too. He could do all of that. Or is he gonna teleport them all one by one? I don't know. It's just stupid. So I think the stipulation on his karma makes no sense. You can go watch my video about the inconsistencies and shit, plot conveniences, and I mentioned that in there. Okay, so yeah, now Ada and Kashin Koji are back. We're back at them talking about the situation. Kashin Koji mentions how the situation shouldn't be praised. And I've mentioned this before, like the good futures, like this is how the ability should technically work. So at least that's consistent. But I think there's a lot of inconsistencies about his ability in the first place. I'm not going to just get into all of them here. But I think the fact that Boruto and Kawaki couldn't defeat him on their own still is stupid. And like now, like, apparently he's able to see other futures now that have sprouted from what's been disrupted, like the new futures that have been created from what Boruto did. He made a new branch in the path, so now there are multiple new branches happening. So now he knows that Bug is on the move. Wants to take Ada to the Diddy party. He trying to take Ada to the Diddy party. So yeah, so he's on the move now. And here we go, this scene right here, okay? Like, this is the last panel, last 2 panels. Let me just mention, right? I feel like, outside in my video feeling like I'm ranting, let me just say, this might not be anything significant, but the fact that, okay, first of all, Jura's a little weird dude, right? He's so happy that Kawaki praised him. Like, I got a couple words for him, but I'm not going to use them. But, yeah, he gave him a compliment, so he's so happy. And Hidari is like, yo, listen, there's a word I just learned. Hold on, it's gonna fit perfect for this situation. He said, oh, what is it? And he says total ick, totally ick. So now I think this is just the Viz translation. I think this is how the translator chose to write it, based on, the fact that the word he said, he said it's a modern phrase. It is, he's probably using something modern that the kids use and shit and all that. I said that like an old ass man. That's crazy. The kids nowadays. But yeah, but I don't think, I feel like it wasn't exactly this, because I've seen this panel in the fan translations and it wasn't translated like this, but it was still the same effect of him using a modern type of phrase that the younger people would be using around his, like, in his era, in his world and all that sort of shit. Reflecting of our fucking world right now, right? Because that's where they're going to draw it from. So yeah, and then this is funny. So I feel like this might be my point mentioning this. Not only am I mentioning the translation I don't like, but I almost forgot. My main point mentioning this is that I feel like this is some subtle hint. It could be I could be overlooking it. It could be a red herring, a subtle red herring, or I'm right. But I feel like this is a subtle hint, assisting the theory that I had that Hidari might end up kind of going against Jura and betraying him and kind of working and doing his own motives related to Sarada. Okay? Yeah, I think it's possible. Now, he used to draw him extremely Sasuke-like in the face, but now he's starting to look less and less like Sasuke. You know, the only thing that's kind of retaining the Sasuke-ness of his image is the hair, or I mean, the hood that's like hair. I'm sure he's bald underneath there. It would be sweet if he is bald underneath there and he's wearing this hood. But maybe he does have like a little ponytail or some shit. I don't know. But yeah. Now I'm digressing, and this video already felt like a rant, so I'm gonna start to end it here. I think there's nothing left to say. Like the art, you know, there's a couple panels I actually did like some of the paneling. In this Kawaki fight with the bow staff, I did like some of the paneling and even his poses and whatnot. Well, I will say that I did like some of that. It wasn't the worst. It wasn't the best, but it wasn't, you know, it was way better than what he was doing before. Because it was simple. He kept it simple. It was real simple, and it was straightforward. But not everything. Like this one right here, I don't like the way this flowed. But like, you know, like I said, not everything. It's just, you know, some of the things. But because I feel like him drawing this finger attack thing looks stupid all the time. It never feels like he's really doing a full swing. He either just like shows the panel of the swing already happening, or the wind up. Like, you know what I mean? Like the wind up is just really small. Like I think above this panel there was a panel of his hand. It's like there. Like oh, he's getting his hand ready, and the next panel we know is just already being thrusted wherever the hell is being thrusted at. So I don't like that. But yeah, I don't think there's anything else to talk about. This scene, obviously I said it before, it's kind of stupid. He's laying in a pile of rocks. He gets exploded with the Vegeta style. By the way, he's taking this from Vegeta because he's a Dragon Ball just influenced person, right? He just can't help but keep putting Dragon Ball influence in here all the time, and all the time it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel at home. It doesn't feel good. So yeah, maybe he should stop doing that. But he survived this. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. I'm repeating myself now. I think this is it. I'm out.